So we are now in the month of August, and yesterday I posted a video talking about Nintendo's recent quarterly brief, where they discussed their recent sales on software and also their hardware sales for the last quarter. And I also talked about how their hardware sales were declining pretty fast. I mean, naturally this is what you would expect from year 8 of a console, but yeah, they were down 46% with units and literally 70% in sales. So Nintendo seriously is realizing that, yeah, the Switch's life cycle is coming to a close. And with this information, I can't help but wonder if Nintendo is going to change some of their plans or at least push some ahead, because maybe they plan to reveal this console a lot later than sooner, but maybe now this is maybe urging them to do it a lot quicker because sales are declining. They need to make some money, so this could potentially mean we could be seeing the Switch 2 very soon. And I mean, we already thought we'd see it very soon. Now as we're approaching the fall months, we're already in August, so odds are we'll probably see this thing revealed in the next couple of months, which is super exciting. Now since we're pushing towards the latter part of the year, I wanted to discuss Nintendo's plans going into the holiday season and early next year. What are the Nintendo's plans and what are we going to expect for the rest of this year? Because we still have a possible September Direct coming up, along with other games that might have separate Directs and just lots of stuff to look forward to. And of course, that beloved Switch 2 presentation. But let's dive into what I believe Nintendo's doing for the rest of the year. Now, Nintendo has been really quiet most of this summer. I mean, seriously, with June being Luigi's Mansion 2 and July being Nintendo World Championships, it's not a lot to talk about. And of course, even August is very empty as well, as the only game we have this month is the Famicom Detective Club, the Smiling Man Emio game coming later this month. So yeah, this is going to be another dry month from Nintendo. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking online about the potential for Nintendo doing something big still, because we don't have anything for the majority of September until the very end, where we do have The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. But man, it's going to feel like 3 months as we wait for this game to come out with absolutely nothing happening from Nintendo. Not to mention the beginning of this year was just lots of remakes and remasters and ports, with like the only new title being Princess Peach Showtime. So man, yeah, it's a lot of just waiting around seeing what Nintendo's going to do so far. So there is a chance that August could be something else, maybe some type of presentation for a game that we're not expecting. Also, Echoes of Wisdom, maybe Nintendo has a Nintendo Direct focused on that game. It doesn't seem likely for a top-down 2D Zelda game. I don't know why they would want to show off an entire Nintendo Direct when you'd probably spoil a lot of the game. A lot of it is based on dungeons and overworld exploration, so I feel like they may not want a Direct focused on this game. As much as I want to say a Switch 2 reveal here is perfect, I think Nintendo doesn't want to interfere with any of the upcoming games at this moment. I think as far back as they'll interfere with is probably Mario and Luigi Brothership, but yeah, this might be a little too early to reveal the console for Nintendo. I still think it'd be a great time, especially before a big September Direct, so that way you can actually showcase some new games coming to the new console, but you never know. I'm saying August has a very slight chance of seeing Switch 2. And obviously, like we just said, at the end of September, on September 26, we are going to get The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which is a new top-down 2D Zelda game. I don't even think it's necessarily considered a spin-off because it's still kind of like Zelda-based, you know? But that's super exciting. I cannot wait for that game. It's not going to be a huge, gigantic game, though. We know this. But still, September also probably has something else huge, which is probably a Nintendo Direct. This is probably going to be within the first 2 weeks of September, but I can't lie, I'm very confused about what they would want to show off here. There have been rumors that Nintendo still has some games coming out for Switch, like new ones as well at the beginning of next year, which is still so strange to me. I don't know how. There's been rumors of another 2D Kirby game coming maybe early next year, or some other stuff, some more remakes, remasters, and ports, which would just feel like it's just continually to go on and on and on, and it's just dragging at this point. And it also would be kind of weird to just see a regular Nintendo Direct for current Switch when Nintendo's already announced that June 1 and said, also, we'll be talking about Switch 2 sometime this fiscal year, and there'll be no Switch 2 information at that June Nintendo Direct. So actually, naturally in my head, I really expected straight after that Nintendo Direct, the next presentation we would get would be Switch 2. I'd never expected 2 Nintendo Directs and then Switch 2, you know, so naturally in my head, I kind of want to think maybe instead of a Nintendo Direct, we get some type of Switch 2 presentation in that slot in September instead, which would be awesome. But also, I thought of a negative, what if we don't get anything? Or what if it's just a partner showcase because they don't really have anything else to show and they just have to have something in the month of September? And it's just, hey, this is Echo of Wisdom month, so enjoy this partner showcase until the presentation next month or in a couple months. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I really would love to see a Switch 2 presentation where they're just absolutely showing off everything about the console, showing off all the games, and then we can just sit and look at all the big, exciting games coming out next year and just get super excited for, some of the smaller games coming to current Switch and then also the bigger ones coming to Switch 2, would just be awesome. But will Nintendo reveal this thing in September? I'm also not necessarily thinking it's the case. It's just too hard to say right now. I think this September Nintendo Direct will show us, what Nintendo's plans are. If they're either having a Direct, having a regular showcase, announcing regular games for Switch, maybe they're announcing some things for Switch 2, it's hard to say. Maybe they just announced some Switch 2 games and just still don't show off Switch 2 yet. Can they even do that? I doubt it. But yeah, it's just, once again, we're in the dark. So I don't know if Nintendo's even going to show off anything in September. Then on October 17th, we have Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is super exciting. I can't wait for another Mario Party game. And to play all the mini games, it's going to be a blast, I'm sure. And it's a really good idea to have this at the end of the Switch life cycle. It's a perfect game. But with that, this is now when I'm really looking for something from Nintendo. At the month of October, you're pretty much towards the end of the year, and the last game you have left is November's Mario & Luigi Brothership. So at that point, are they really going to wait until all these games come out and don't reveal the Switch 2 until almost December? I feel like that is a really bad time to do so. So in my humble opinion, and I know this is going to make a lot of people probably very sad, they either reveal the Switch 2 at the end of this year, being September, October, or November, or they reveal the thing in January or February. I think those are the only options personally. However, I still don't think they're going to be going into next year because I just think that's way too late, and by then that's when you'll probably want to have a bigger presentation showing off everything about the console. But I think the little short release trailer is going to be coming very, very soon. We just have to wait on it. And then in the month of November, we have Mario & Luigi Brothership, and that's on November 7th, so technically they do have the rest of November to finally reveal this thing. So I've seen a lot of people thinking that maybe they'll just wait until all these games come out, and in the middle of November or at the end of November, they'll finally reveal the console. Yeah, the more and more I hear that, the more and more it sounds very right. It just kind of sounds like something Nintendo would do, is push it as far as they can. Once again, I don't think they're going to be going into December, but even pushing it towards the middle or end of November is kind of getting close to their holiday season. I mean, the original Switch was revealed in October 20th to be exact, so this would be definitely pushing it. But it's very hard to compare that time period with this one because in that time period, we didn't have many games at all coming out that holiday season, like any. So yeah, they had plenty of time to reveal something. But it just might have to come down to the fact that they have to just announce something before Brothership. And I know Brothership might take a small beating because of it, but they kind of have to. I'm not completely removing November from my thought process, but I'm just kind of going along the lines of, replacing that September Direct or sometime in October right after the Direct. Now, December should be the calm before the storm. This is where everything's calm, we have information about Switch 2, we're excited, we're ready, and we're still having fun with the last couple of games that have come out to Nintendo Switch. And by this time, I honestly, if I was Nintendo, would have a giant Switch price drop, allowing people to buy the heck out of the console because they know Switch 2 is coming, but they can still use Switch 1. Switch 2 is just going to be better and bigger and grander in all sorts of ways. So this price drop should help Nintendo reach their 150 million units sold and also generate that hype for the next console. And this is going to be just kind of a easing through the holiday, but in good spirits because we know it's coming. And of course, in the month that follows is probably going to be the heat that starts 2025. And of course, I'm not talking about everything of next year. I'll just go through the first couple of months. I still think Switch 2 has a very good chance at launching at the beginning of next year, around the March territory, which means in January, yeah, you still have a game coming out, which is Donkey Kong Country Returns, but you also have the beginning of the year. And this is the time, just like with the original Switch, where you have the big blowout, showing all the games coming to the new console, all the functions of this new Switch, and just having that proper presentation to show it off as full as possible a couple months before it actually releases. And of course, showing off those games because we want to see those games. The month of February will be yet again another calm before the storm, just like December of 2024, where in February 2025, we're gearing up for that new console release in the next month of March. And we don't really need anything in this month. Let's just sit and ride the hype. And then we have March, which once again, this should be the time frame where Switch 2 actually launches, where we get our new games and of course our new console, and things are great. once again. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking the timeline would be. I don't know where Metroid Prime fits in here. I don't know if that's also going to be a launch title along with a new Mario or Mario Kart, but I think it'd be pretty close nevertheless. That's personally what I think Nintendo's plans are going to be for the rest of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. Clearly, Nintendo Switch is starting to decline pretty heavily, so Nintendo's going to have to make some moves pretty soon. But whether it happens this month or the next couple of months, it should be very, very soon this time around, where we're actually getting our first bit of information about the console. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and let me know when you think we'll see Switch 2. Let me know what you think we'll see at the end of this year and the beginning of next year. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.